Why are you flying an Air Force One if it doesn't have anti-missile protection, Mr. President? That was a very good question that was asked of Donald Trump as he was leaving the World Cup late last night. But don't worry, his answer should make everybody that flies on Air Force One along with them feel very safe and secure. I mean, family members, cabinet members, members of the administration, journalists. Because he said, well, don't worry, they're going to pimp my ride. Sorry, they're going to send it back for retrofitting and to max it out over the next month. This, as the New York Times has filed a motion to quash subpoenas in criminal court, Southern District of New York, that were issued and delivered by hand to their journalists who reported about the major safety concerns of the Qatari Air Force One that Donald Trump flies around the country and the world with, which does not have anti-missile systems. How do they know that? I don't know. They looked at the plane. The original Air Force One, you could see all of the anti-missile systems and redundancy systems on it. And when you looked at the new Air Force One, the Qatari one, you didn't see them. I mean, there was other reporting involved as well, including that the Secret Service grounded the plane because it was unsafe. And now, admitting and confessing that it was unsafe is Donald Trump saying it's being sent back to be maxed out. Whatever that means. Maybe it's going to get new tires, and they're going to change the gold faucets in toilets. I'm Michael Popok. Let's get to this national security risk that is the flying Donald Trump here on Legal AF. How did we get here? Because Donald Trump got snookered by the Qataris. Does that surprise you? That plane was 14 years old, was on the market for years, and nobody wanted it. Oh yeah, 14-year-old plane nobody wanted, probably worth about half of what the announced gift was. Trump loves inflating numbers, really probably worth $150 to $200 million. And he got it from the Qataris because they were trying to get rid of it. So he gets it. And the military, the Department of Defense, Secret Service, they come up with a 2-year plan last summer to retrofit it to make it functional as an Air Force One, as a flying fortress, as a flying situation room, with appropriate communications, command and control structures, and anti-missile capability. But Donald Trump doesn't want to wait for that. He told them, hurry up, I can't wait. July 4th's around the corner. So they shaved a year. What could go wrong? A year off of the fix and retrofitting of the Qatari plane. We all looked around how did they do that? Well, now we know how they did it. They left out things like anti-missile features. And when he flew to NATO, it all came to a head because he was just 600 miles away from Iran in a plane that he could not defend against a missile strike. Wow. So he's asked last night, coming out of the World Cup, where he tried to steal the World Cup trophy again, and players for both sides were refusing to shake his hand, and he lingered too long with the Spanish team as they celebrated. So a Huffington Post reporter asked him on the plane effectively, well, let's play the clip.
It has a lot of capability, but as I understand it, in about a month or so, they're going to send it to have it be maxed out. So they're going to be sending it, and they'll have it be maxed out. It'll take about a month.
Maxed out. Well, that's good to know. Oh my God. At the same time, the New York Times has filed in the last couple of days a motion to quash criminal subpoenas issued by a grand jury in New York. Not really a grand jury, issued by Donald Trump's golf buddy, Jay Clayton, as he was leaving the Southern District of New York lead prosecutor's office to go become the director of national intelligence and go chase all of Donald Trump's squirrels about alleged voter integrity problems. Jay Clayton's last parting gift to Donald Trump was subpoenas to the New York Times. He's very mad at the New York Times because of their accurate reporting based on anonymous sourcing that plane was not safe. They weren't the only ones that did it. MS Now had the same report going at about the same time. And you know what Stephen Chung, the communications director, said? Well, that journalist always lies. She's not a journalist. That's a lie. None of that's true. It's all true, Stephen Chung, and you knew it. It's all true. It's all unsafe. Look, you just have to visually inspect the planes. Old Air Force One has all of the apertures to shoot out chaff, metal shavings so that the missiles go in a different direction, missile blinding lasers. I feel like I'm in Austin Powers at this point. And all different redundant systems near the engine and near the turbos so that it would deflect a missile. That's missing from the current plane. Now, when Trump took office, he wanted a new Air Force One. Okay, the old ones were, they were around for a long time. So do you know where he went to Boeing? Do you know where Boeing got the planes from to use to try to retrofit for an Air Force One the first time? Because Trump's always trying to cut corners. Yes, the Russian airline went out of business. I guess it was Aeroflot. They ordered 2 Boeings. The Boeings were sitting around, but they were built for the Russian airline. And then Trump tried to retrofit them on a fixed rate contract with Boeing. It's taking a long time to retrofit those planes. Years. In fact, they're not expected to be delivered. The 2 Air Force One replacements are not expected to be delivered until 2028 at a cost of about $5 billion. Then you've got the $1 billion of taxpayer dollars going into this temporary Qatari Air Force One because Donald Trump's too much of a narcissist to fly around in the old Air Force One that's safer for him. And then he says really weird things out loud. Like, he's not the only one that's on Air Force One. Family members, cabinet members, administration members, members of the press corps. And when they asked him about, like, aren't you worried about getting blown out of the sky by, well, if you go, you go. Play the clip.
Were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against your
Well, I have a threat all the time. I'm number 1 on their list before you. But if I go, you go. Right?
But was there a specific
So perhaps someday you want to change professions.
Now, Todd Blanche, remember him? He's trying to become confirmed as the Attorney General. There's going to be 2 big events related to that. I'll be following here on Legal AF. Who's going to replace Lindsey Graham for the vote on the Judiciary Committee? And when is the vote to confirm out of the committee going to happen in the next week or 2? But Todd Blanche was asked particularly about, you think it's appropriate to go after journalists and their anonymous sourcing in order to, and issue them subpoenas? That's your approach to the First Amendment? Play the clip.
Here's what is very clear. He was at the White House for 8 hours, and this is after a report came out in the New York Times that talked about the $400 million Qatari plane that was Air Force One not having certain deceptive defensive capabilities, and issued subpoenas to reporters demanding that they turn over their news sources. I happen to believe it's extremely important to protect the right of the press to have confidential sources in order to get out information that is absolutely in the public interest. Do you support Mr. Patel's efforts to subpoena and get reporters under the grill to disclose who their confidential sources are?
The Department of Justice requires that I authorize it, which I did. And those reporters, we're not targeting reporters. They're material witnesses, just like a reporter would be a material witness to a car crash. Yeah, they are witnesses. And so,
and the question you want to ask them is, who were their sources? That goes to the heart of the First Amendment.
No, the question we want to ask them is, who provided them with classified national security information, which everybody in this body should want to protect? I would hope.
Now, if I had a guess, and as soon as the motion to quash the subpoenas by the New York Times was filed under seal, meaning we don't have access to it yet, but it will be litigated by the judge. And as soon as I get notice on the judge, I'll let you know who it is. I think those subpoenas get quashed. The subpoenas against Julian Barnes and all of the lead Pentagon and Defense Department reporters for the New York Times. Thank God there are leakers. We have another word for leakers in the White House and in the Defense Department. It's called whistleblowers. They're blowing the whistle on national security issues, and thank God they are. Hopefully, they'll also be willing to testify before various oversight committee hearings, especially when they're gavelled by the Democrats. But this whole plane issue, and now, while the Department of Justice goes after reporters, the FBI, led by Kash Patel, oh, thank God for Kash Patel and Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, they're capturing everybody's cell phones. They're trying to figure out who did it, who leaked it, who are the anonymous sources. They're never going to find them out of the White House. They're never going to find them with Kash Patel. Kash Patel's busy at public sporting events, taking credit for the World Cup. Did you see his release of his FBI video? That the true winner of the World Cup is Kash Patel? Play the clip.
We put on the largest sporting event in the history of the world. And everybody, including FIFA and the White House, looks to the FBI, to our interagency partners, to DHS, to state and locals, to everybody to figure out how to get 6.5 million people into the U.S. and into these games without a single major security incident. We have lived up to that measure because you guys have put in the time. It's truly, truly incredible. We just can't say enough about the preparation and the execution. It's been flawless.
You think that joker is going to find the anonymous sources? And the anonymous sources are going to be protected by whistleblower statutes, and they're going to get good lawyers that are going to defend them. And we're going to continue to report on it right here on Legal AF. We're trying to build our way to 2 million subscribers before the midterms. Early voting has started. You want to vote for democracy? You want to vote for the rule of law? Hit our free button and subscribe. Until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.